September month is going to be exceptionally important because we will be witnessing special celestial moments. There will be two eclipses in this month, one lunar, one solar. Eclipses often bring sudden changes, endings, and revelations, and they affect us deeply even when they are not visible from wherever we live. So we need to pay attention to the messages of these eclipses. We'll be discussing it shortly. Hi, I'm Sangita and I welcome you to New Era Astrology. Here we decode the cosmic events for you to make conscious decisions and actions. So this September month I have divided into 3 segments. The first segment will be from 1st to 7th of September. So in this segment we will discuss the powerful lunar eclipse and its impact on our lives as well as on nations. Then second segment will be from 8th to 21st. That will be kind of a breather for us between two eclipses. So there the energies will shift because the personal planets will be changing their signs. So we will discuss about all these things. Then in the third segment, that will span from 22nd to 30th September, and there we will discuss the partial solar eclipse and its impact on us. Also, I will discuss how this solar eclipse is going to impact the whole generation which are born between 1960s to 70s and particularly late 60s to early 70s. So watch till the end. As you can see, this month is going to be a phenomenal month. So don't miss out on any of the segment. I have given timestamps to every segment so that it will be easy for you to directly watch that segment again and again. So you can visit the video as many times as you want. So now let us dive into what's happening in the sky in the month of September and how it will impact our lives. So the month will begin with the minor grand trine that we have seen since past months. So this minor grand trine will be among outer planets like Uranus in Taurus, Saturn Neptune conjunction in Pisces and Pluto in Capricorn. This trine will bring in slowly but surely some major shifts in our lives, and that will be inside us as well as outside us. So the outside changes will happen in terms of structures of the society, structures of the organization and even political structures. These changes will be all about replacing the old systems with new one, replacing the top-down structure, the hierarchies with the new one. So there will be leadership changes, there will be changes in the structure of the society. So we can expect that, but that will not happen in the days time or weeks time. It will happen over the period of time. This trine will be active until December this year, that is December 2025, and after that it will start slowly dissolving. During this time it will form some different aspects with different planets. So that will trigger some major changes and bring in some different perspectives to these major shifts. Then Jupiter in Gemini will be trining North Node in Aquarius. This aspect started past month. We discussed this in detail in past video. So this means we still have a chance to move towards our destined path. So we have a chance to participate in some kind of a communication project or some social causes, humanitarian causes, or we can even connect through technology also, and we will join some groups, and all these things or one of these things will take us towards our future destined path. This aspect will be active till September end, and after that it will dissolve. So we need to pay attention to this opportunity. So now coming to the most important part of this segment, that is the lunar eclipse, total lunar eclipse. This is happening on 7th September in the sign of Aquarius. So moon will be in Aquarius and it will be conjunct with North Node in Aquarius. So any eclipse is always aligned with north node and south node, and because of that, eclipses always bring in some turning point in our lives. These lunar eclipses particularly bring in some emotional intensity because moon rules our emotional world. So I have created a detailed eclipse guide for you so that you can navigate through this eclipse season with ease and with awareness. So please do watch that eclipse guide on the channel. It will be under short. So this total lunar eclipse will be visible from Asia, from west to east, then India and Central Asia, and particularly India will be positioned centrally under this eclipse path. So it is India is going to get impacted by this lunar eclipse. Then western part of Australia, Europe, Africa, particularly eastern and central parts of these continents. Then some part of New Zealand and western Pacific realms. Then Antarctica and over the Indian and western Pacific oceans. And the regions from where this eclipse will not be visible will be North and South America. However, some western edge of Alaska may catch some glimpses of this eclipse. But even though that this eclipse is not visible from that part, still it affects our life. So moon will conjunct north node and both will be in Aquarius, and they will oppose sun and Mercury and south node in Leo. So it's Aquarius, Leo Aquarius axis will be triggered by this lunar eclipse. So what does this mean? Let us discuss. Moon with north node is always our destined path, future destiny, and moon is our emotion. So moon and north node in Aquarius will push us towards some new emotional territory. So that means we will need to be open to progressive ideas. Our focus will be on collective well-beings, and we will connect to like-minded communities or people. Sun will be conjunct to Mercury and south node in Leo. That means our pull towards our old habits, past tendencies of wanting to be in the center of stage and in the spotlight, and also staying with what feels comfortable, familiar, and clinging to old stories. So this opposition will be kind of a tug-of-war between our comfort zone and our growth zone. It will ask us, do you want to stay where you have been, or you want to move towards your bright future, or are you ready to invest emotionally into your future? So that kind of a dilemma we will face. What we can do? So we can ask ourselves, what kind of old habits and emotional patterns that I am ready to release so that I can move towards fulfilling future. Also, we can reflect on and have honest talk with ourselves or someone whom we trust about the future direction that we want to grow when it feels little uncomfortable at this moment. So this lunar eclipse will bring in that kind of emotional intensity where we want to cling to our old past patterns, old emotional patterns, because those are comfortable, but at the same time we will realize that we need to let go of them and grow towards more progressive ideas and connect to the like-minded communities or people. So this will be our conflict. Jupiter in Gemini will be in harmonious aspect to this lunar eclipse. So this is a kind of a lucky boost to us. So Jupiter in Gemini will bring in opportunities for expansion, for having wisdom, and opportunities for learning and communication. So benevolent Jupiter is giving us a great time to meet new people, network with people, and then joining a group that will challenge us to think in a bigger ways. So what we can do? We can say yes to the conversations and ideas that broaden our horizon. We can take a class or attend a talk or even have a deep discussion with a friend or mentor about the future that we want to create. But Venus in Cancer will not be very happy with this lunar eclipse. It will be upset with this eclipse because Venus in Cancer wants emotional closeness, nurturing and safety, whereas Moon in Aquarius leans more towards emotional independence and community focus. So this creates some kind of discomfort or awkwardness where our between our emotional needs as well as commitments towards group. So what we can do, we can set some healthy boundaries so we can nurture both ourselves as well as our connections or the people whom we are working with. So similarly, Mars will not be happy with this lunar eclipse, and Mars will create some friction during that time, because Mars will be in Virgo, and that means it is focusing on more practical actions. It wants to fix the things, it wants to go into the details of the things, whereas Moon in Aquarius is all about broader vision. So this aspect says that while executing our perfect plans or perfect actions, we might miss out on our bigger picture. So we need to pay attention to that. So what we can do, we can just slow down and ask ourselves, whatever I am doing currently, is it aligning with my bigger purpose? So at the same time, there will be some difficult aspect, opposition between Chiron in Aries and Black Moon Lilith in Libra. So Chiron in Aries shows our personal wound, emotional wound around independence, self-worth and confidence. And Black Moon Lilith will bring in the issues around relationship, equality in relationship and fairness in the relationship. So this is a deep healing time. So this opposition may reveal you where your healing journey will clash with your relationship expectation. What we can do, just pay attention to whatever emotional or relational tension that comes up during that time, and instead of reacting, look for the patterns. Those will be triggered, the old patterns, those are triggering this conflict again and again. Our awareness around those patterns is the first step towards healing. So to summarize this segment and lunar eclipse, this eclipse could be the checkpoint where it is asking that do you want to keep repeating your past, or you can take a brave step towards your future. So we need to choose between these two things. Then sky is asking us or urging us to choose growth. Jupiter is offering us opportunities to grow, to learn, to communicate and connect with others. Whereas Venus and Mars, they are bringing some moments of adjustments. Chiron and Black Moon Lilith will ask us for deeper emotional honesty in relationship. So the key is to let go of whatever it is, the old emotional patterns or any situation which is not helping us to grow, and move towards the future which we want to create. So now let us see how this eclipse will impact the world. We will look at it from world astrology point of view. So the eclipses don't just affect individuals, but they create ripples through economies, nations and global politics. They often bring moments where the focus shifts towards world leaders, global politics or public priorities. Eclipse theme could be the more future oriented reforms versus old leadership models. The tension here is that collective is ready to move towards the future, but some leadership and authorities or institutions may be clinging to outdated ways. So that may trigger changes in public opinions or even political power shifts. Jupiter in Gemini is in harmonious aspect to this eclipse that will open up the dialogue, negotiations, and it will open the channel for overall global dialogues. So there could be some new treaties that will be signed, some technological partnership will be formed, and educational reforms will be done that will spread across borders. Chiron and Black Moon Lilith tension will bring in international court rulings, then human rights debates and or public movements that will push to address hidden inequalities. Eclipse line is directly passing through India and it is triggering India's independence chart. So moon in any nation's chart represents masses, public or common people of that country, women and children. And this moon is placed in 10th house, and this 10th house or the midheaven represents government, ruling elites, then police and overall ruling parties. So if I relate with this situation, so there is a chance that public or the masses will influence the changes in government policy and changes in decisions and government even government structures also. The theme here could be the shift in public sentiments, focusing on science and technology, political debates over leadership styles, or we can also see some increase in grassroots level movements. So I can relate it with the Delhi stray dog issues, and in UK and parts of Europe. Again, UK's chart, national chart will be heavily activated by this lunar eclipse. So we could see political reshuffles, influence of public opinions, and there might also that might also bring up discussions around monarchy, national identity and international alliances. So this month will begin with powerful lunar eclipse on 7th September, and that will be kind of a tug of war between past and future. The message is clear: let go of outdated roles and stories and step into the future built on community, technology, innovation and collective growth. So this was all about segment 1 and powerful lunar eclipse. But don't go away, because the segment 2 is all about the fresh energies that the movement of planet will bring in. So let us talk about the segment 2. So now let us look at the middle part of September, that is segment 2, from 8th to 21st September. So this time period will be kind of a breather for us between two eclipses. So we'll get little fresh air between intensity of these two eclipses, and the reason behind it is that the planets, personal planets, will be changing their signs, and that will bring in fresh energies and opportunities to heal, to have clarity and make some long-term changes. So from 8th to 13th September, we will be still feeling the effects of lunar eclipse and other planetary alignments. But on 14th September, Mars will change the sign and will enter into the sign of Libra. So that will shift our focus from fixing the problems, having everything in order of Virgo sign, to bringing harmony in our relationships. Our focus will shift to relationship. But Mars is not very comfortable in Libra, so we might feel the tendency to be indecisive, and we might face some passive aggressive behavior and some kind of conflict in relationship, but those will be indirect conflict. So what we can do? So we can focus on collaboration more, and if some conflict arise, then we can just have fair compromise and avoid the power struggles. So that will bring balance in our relationships. So on 15th September, Venus will change its sign to Leo and Mercury will also change its sign to Virgo. So now when Venus enters into Leo sign, it brings in energy of warmth, little bit drama and expressive love. So it's a kind of a beautiful energy, and same time Venus will trine Chiron in Aries, so that will open up a window for healing in relationships. So it's a good chance to heal in relationship by expressing your love towards your partner or your loved one. And then Venus will also sextile Mars, who is freshly entered into Libra sign. So that will create passion and cooperative flow. So it's a beautiful period. So we can use this energy to heal our relationships. And when Mercury will enter in Virgo, it will be in its strong position because Virgo is his own sign. So it will be in its own sign. So it is one of the strongest sign of Mercury. It will sharpen our mind and communication. So we will be very clear in our communication. We will be very sorted that time, mentally sorted. So how we can use these beautiful energies? So we can express our heart openly, but also will listen and communicate with clarity. So this is a good time for both romantic gestures as well as honest conversations. Then on 17th September, Sun will also enter into Virgo and it will conjunct Mercury in Virgo. So overall, our self-expression will be very clear. We will be able to express with clarity whichever form of expression we want to have that time. It will be very clear. We will be very clear in our mind what we want to say, what we want, how we want to perform. Our communication also will be very clear, organized and based on facts, because Virgo likes facts. So, and it will be very practical also. So this is a kind of energy which says get your house in order. So this is a good time to have a perfect reviewing routines in terms of health habits, work system or any your pending work. So how we can use this good energy? We can have our to-do list, then we can pay attention to details, and it is a good time for planning the months ahead. Now from 18th September, energies will slowly start changing because we will be nearing to the solar eclipse. So on 18th September, Sun and Mercury conjunction will oppose Saturn Neptune in Pisces. So that means that might be a major tension point because Virgo says be precise, look towards look for the facts, but Saturn and Neptune will blur the line between reality and dreams. So that will be a kind of a conflict between reality versus illusion. So Virgo will push for the facts and Saturn Neptune will blur the facts. So we might feel torn between our emotional vision versus our logical mind. So what we can do? We can just avoid to go towards certain extremities. So we can ground our dreams into small doable steps, and we can just accept that not everything can be measured, but we don't also need to ignore the facts. So balance is the key. So on 20th September, the kite pattern will be formed. Now this time Sun Mercury conjunction will be at the apex and the outer planets will be forming a trine. So this creates focused momentum. So we can use this time to commit to one clear project that blends practically with long-term meaning. Then throughout this time, Chiron in Aries will be opposing Mars in Libra. So that will trigger old wounds about independence versus partnership or equality in partnership. But conflicts may come up in relationship, but that will also give opportunity for healing as well. So to sum up this segment 2, it is this middle part of September is all about balancing. So balance between our independence versus partnership, our facts versus dreams, and planning versus vision. So it is a chance to heal, organize and prepare yourself for the big shifts that will be coming through the eclipse that will be happening on 21st September. So this was all about segment 2, and just don't go away because we will be discussing solar eclipse and which might have major impact on our lives. So on 21st September 2025, we will experience partial solar eclipse in Virgo. So sun and moon will conjunct in Virgo. So solar eclipses always bring some new beginnings, but at the same time they might bring in some sudden shifts also. And particularly those born between 1969, late 69, up till 1973, early 73, those people will face or will experience some major transformation in their lives. So in which areas and why this will happen, we will talk about it in a moment. This eclipse will be visible from best views will be from southern New Zealand, parts of South Pacific, parts of Antarctica, and then partially visible from other South Pacific islands, and it will not be visible from most of Asia, Africa, Europe and the Americas. Even though this eclipse will not be visible in this part of the world, still it can affect our lives. At the time of eclipse, Sun, Mercury and Moon all will be in Virgo sign. So that brings in themes about precise clarity, new daily routines and deeper service to others and even around our health areas. So these areas will be touched by this eclipse. So South Node in Leo will be nearby. So that means we will be releasing some old habits or old emotional patterns. And similarly, Jupiter will still be in trine aspect with North Node and sextile aspect to this South Node in Leo. So that brings up some opportunities to learn, communicate and declutter our old image. So essentially we will be leaving behind what we were used to do. So the same kite pattern which was formed on the 18th September, it will continue, but now the apex point will be this solar eclipse. It will demand use of practical methodologies or steps and innovative approach to bring in a deep transformation in us. So again this opposition will highlight the conflict between facts and our faith, our or need for having order in life versus our surrender to some higher power, and our logic versus our intuition. And at the same time, Pluto in Capricorn will be squaring Mars in Libra. That might bring up some tensions in relationships. And also we will have Jupiter trining North Node, which will take us towards our future destiny. So we will still have opportunities to advance towards our destined path in terms of joining some communities, joining some social causes, or some initiating some technological projects and joining some groups. So what we can do at the time of this eclipse, when all these things will be demanding our attention towards some transformation. So we can set some intention with clarity, because Virgo is all about bringing in clarity and facts. So our intentions should be very clear about certain things. So we can ask, what practical change I want to bring in? It could be changing some habits which is affecting my health and bringing in some healthier habits, or taking up some creative project which maybe we were putting off for some reason. So take a moment to write down simple, clear one intention that you want to achieve. Then South Node in Leo will ask us to release the tendency or habit of having external validations. We can trust our own rhythms and direction and not depend on others' validation. Then Jupiter sextiling South Node and trining North Node at the same time. Energy is all about reaching out and sharing our vision with someone who is supportive. We can also take a class or we can learn something, or we can just talk it through and reach out to people. This is a good time to connect with like-minded people, then step into community projects, step into our collective role, and act in a way that will align with our future self. Then having this kite pattern is a powerful alignment for creating long-term change. So we can ground our dream into small doable actions. We can open to sudden insights and transformative decisions. Also, we might feel push and pull between forceful transformation and desire for harmony. This can bring in some power struggles in relationship or in team settings also. So essentially we need to avoid manipulative tactics and focusing on fairness while standing our ground. Then on 29th September, Jupiter in Gemini will be squaring Chiron in Aries and Mercury in Virgo. So this is a kind of a T-square. So it will confront the tension between what we know, what we communicate, and what is that wound that silences us always. If we stay patient, and if we can simplify our words, and if disagreements happen, then if we look at it as an opportunity to heal, then we will come out of this time with more clarity and healing and confidence. So this eclipse energy is a kind of a doorway between practicality and mysticism. So Sun Mercury in Virgo is asking for more clarity and organization, whereas Saturn Neptune is asking for patience and vision. If we balance our realism with inspiration, then if we plant a seed now, that can grow into something transformative in coming months. And if we look at it from world astrology point of view, globally we can expect some debates around health systems, medicines, pandemics, and environmental or even water related issues, because Saturn and Neptune both are in Pisces. So we can expect that kind of thing, flooding or some water related issues. Also we can expect sudden headlines around themes of agriculture, food supply, government structures, and that will be followed by calls of reform. So there will be kind of movements to reform all these areas. And then moving to the important part of this solar eclipse analysis, I am going to talk directly to the very special group of listeners, those who are born between 1969, late part of 69, and up till 1973, early 73. So these people will be having their Pluto, natal Pluto in Virgo at around 4 degrees to 6 degrees in their natal chart. So that means this eclipse will be directly sitting right on the top of their natal Pluto. So Pluto represents power, deep transformation, some endings, and then rebirth. So in Virgo, it specifically relates to your daily routine, your work, daily work, then your health, then your service to others, and the systems and orders in your life. So this eclipse will trigger these areas and will bring in some spotlight on the deepest generational theme for these people. So Pluto stays in one sign for long duration, some 15 to 20 years. So the people born in 60s and 70s will be having Pluto in Virgo. And these people are always driven to improve their systems, be it in their work environment, their personal life, their health area, or relationship, but they always want to improve something and fix the things. So this particular generation, 1969 to 73, that will face their generational theme in terms of work. So what will happen? So this eclipse will directly conjunct their Pluto in Virgo. So that might bring in some major shift or major transformation or turning point in their career or work routine. Some of them might just leave the outdated jobs, or some of them might step into more transformative role in terms of service or healing. And then second area is health and healing. So this eclipse is happening in the Virgo, so that will trigger the Virgo Pisces axis. So Virgo is a physical health and Pisces is a mental health. So that axis will be activated, and particularly for this generation it is directly speaking. So this eclipse may reveal some health patterns that need deep renewal or need to balance your physical health with emotional or spiritual well-being. So you need to pay attention to some health patterns, but also you can observe your emotional patterns also that is causing you some disease. Then third area is power, control and surrender. So Pluto in Virgo loves some control over things, then details and order in certain areas. But then this eclipse will be opposing Saturn Neptune conjunction. So that will force us to accept uncertainties and some mystery. So we might feel, see, I'm also part of this generation. So we might feel the tension between wanting things perfect and realizing that some things need to be trusted and cannot be controlled. Then this eclipse will also highlight our collective role. So as I said earlier, that this whole generation of 20 years, Pluto in Virgo, they are like on mission of fixing the systems in medicine, ecology, labor or technology. So they are into all the time improving the system, fixing the problems. This eclipse might push some of us into the direction of becoming voices of reforms, especially in healthcare, environment and service industries. So you might be thinking how it will affect me personally. So individually you can expect in terms of career, there could be restructuring of work life, letting go of jobs that no longer serve, or stepping into the roles of reform and healing. Related to health, awareness of long ignored health issues, then breakthroughs through holistic or spiritual healing. In terms of relationships, shifts around control dynamics, realizing that you can't fix everyone, but you can fix only yourself. There will be a need to have deep shadow work, need to dive into our inner life, uncovering hidden fears about failures or not being good enough. So all these areas will be, we can personally feel one of or many of these experiences. So how to navigate through this period? Just be open to endings. If something falls away, we can understand that it's a part of rebirth cycle. Then we can balance our perfectionism and intuition. So we'll have to have balance between our logic and faith. Then we can transform through service. So our generation finds power not in domination but in meaningful contribution. And we can heal at the root. So this is a powerful time to tackle habits, patterns or health issues at their deepest level. So if you are born between 1969 and 1973, there might be some endings that will clear the way for true transformation. Trust the process and consider it as a chance to step into your generation's power to reform and heal. And this will set the stage for our next chapter of our life. So September month is going to be a transformational month and will be demanding courage, clarity and a powerful call to reform and to heal. So stay grounded in your reality, but don't let go of your inspiration. And we will meet in the month of October. And October will be all about harmony in relationship, love and care, home and nurturing. So stay optimistic and take care. Thank you so much.